Hey guys, I'm Apoorv Saxena. I'm a product manager. I lead all natural language products at Google. Today I'm going to talk to you about how you can use Google machine learning along with some of the new features that Twilio released, in fact Jeff released yesterday, to make some amazing conversation happen over your phone. Um, So let's start with first what Google Cloud Machine Learning fits into the overall Google Cloud Platform portfolio. So Google, I belong to the Google Cloud team. Google has been investing significantly over the last few years in machine learning as a key differentiator for Google Cloud. So along with Google core infrastructure pieces, which is storage and databases and analytics pieces like BigQuery, we have introduced over the last 1.5 years a slew of products that help you make sense of data, unstructured data to be particular, and that's the machine learning portfolio. So as a developer, how can you use machine learning? There are two broad ways we believe developers and data scientists will use machine learning. For data scientists who want to build their model using their own data from scratch, but serve it at a scalable infrastructure, the left-hand side of this slide is useful. This is where we are building using TensorFlow as the open deep learning framework and the machine learning framework built on the cloud machine learning engine to build a deployable, manageable, and scalable machine learning algorithm. But that's not for everybody. If you're a developer who's trying to understand, hey, how do I make sense of an image that I have? Or I will show you a demo, if I want to understand what's being said by my caller, you don't need to start building a model from scratch. You can take off-the-shelf, out-of-the-box solutions which are on the right-hand side. So it's a complete portfolio along the spectrum where you play, you can design a solution for you. So there are two APIs that I wanted to talk to you about, the natural language API and translation API, and we'll show some good ways of how you plug that into Twilio. So how many of you have heard about the Cloud Natural Language API or used it? So I see few, 15 to 20%. The Cloud Natural Language API is our way to help you understand the meaning and structure of language sentences. So what do you mean by that? If you have a sentence where you have a bunch of entities or nouns, and you want to understand, hey, is Barack Obama the person referring to, or Donald Trump a person referring to? It can tease that out from the text. It can also understand sentiment in a text. It can also understand the structure, how two nouns in a sentence are related. So that's all, that is part of the Natural Language API. Those are the three features that we talked about. Rather than talking about feature and slides, why don't I show you a quick demo of how to use the API. This is more of a demo to show the power of the API. So here, if you go to cloud, if you just Google Cloud Natural Language, this is the page you will end up at. And so if I just load this page up again, so it's a very simple demo to help you. If I can connect to the internet. Here you go. So you go to the web page, it's a natural language API page, and you can type in any text to understand the power of the API. So in this case, this is simple text talking about Google. They launched a new phone, and Sundar Pichai was happy to launch it. So in terms of the entities that are extracted, these are the entities. Google is the entity, which is of the type organization. So you can understand this is of the type organization. It teases that out and also gives you a link to a Wikipedia page which is referring to talking about this entity that has been extracted. In not all cases you will find that, but in most cases you will find that. Android, the same thing. So other things, phone is a consumer good, so it teases that out. So beyond the entity extraction, it also does sentiment extraction. So both at the document and the sentence level. So overall, the first sentence is pretty neutral. It's just a statement saying that Google launched a phone. But Sundar Pichai, in his keynote, that said that users love their phone. There is a sentiment associated with it, and it's shown here by 0.6 as the sentiment polarity. And the last piece is the meaning and the structure of the language. So this is a very we don't have time to go through it, but it's really teasing out every bit and pieces of the structure of the sentence. And how is that useful? It's useful in building relationship graphs or knowledge graphs, as they call it, and understanding what is being said. For example, you can use that to understand the intent of a caller. If somebody's calling in and say, hey, I want to buy tickets for my friend, there's an intent to buy, and you can tease that out. Why? Because there's a verb called buy, and which the syntax analysis identify as associate with an action, and based on, you can say buy or you can say book. All of these essentially are verbs that you can tease out and use to feed into your intent classifier. So that's how you use the natural language API. Going back to my slides. So, few quick things. It is not only available in English, but we have support for 10 languages, and we keep on improving it. So we recently expanded this language that we support. We are also introducing sentiment at a per entity level rather than a whole document. This is very useful if you're trying to understand what customers are saying about your product over the phone or an email or reviews. So they're talking about, hey, I love my new Google Pixel, but the battery life is not really great. There's two very different sentiment associated with it, and it will help you tease out the different sentiment associated with each of the entities. So as I think I talked about it, so I will probably quickly skip this, where customers are using the APIs to understand customer sentiment as I saw it, and I will show you a quick demo of how we can use it in a call situation. A lot of customers are using it. Accardo is using it for understanding the sentiment of customer emails and then prioritizing and classifying those to be based on how valuable the customer is, how angry they are, and what are they angry about. And accordingly, routing the email or the call to the right agent so that they can answer the customer call as soon as possible. So let's talk about, that was the natural language API. The other part in the portfolio of understanding natural language is translation. Translation API is a RESTful API where you can get fast, real-time, accurate translation. We can also detect languages. So if you have, this is a situation where you have a sentence with multiple bilingual or two languages put together, you can use the language detect to understand which is the predominant language there is. As the name suggests, pretty straightforward. You send in the block of text or HTML document, and out comes a translated document. Aligned, if you have HTML document, it comes back aligned as well. We support over 100 languages, and all the pairs and permutation of combination of those. So French to German, German to French, Italian, you name it. We have around 10,000 models running and powering this thing. Other key points on this slide, I think improvement in quality has been one of the most significant news. If you have been following research, machine translation has taken a leapfrog in terms of quality over the last 1 or 2 years, mostly driven by advances in deep learning and the infrastructure that powers it. The example of this is here. So first generation, this is an example of a block of text translated from Spanish to English. First generation translation is what the current, just a year back, the state of the art was. And what is neural machine translation is the Google version of the machine translation built on deep learning framework. So if you think about it, the translation quality, especially for Spanish and English, which is a very commonly used language for which there is a lot of training data available, was fairly good if you think about it. For example, here, the first generation was getting Fabricaba, if I'm not a Spanish speaker, so if I'm pronouncing it wrong, it's translating as a word as made, which is, made drills is not a great word. I will usually use in natural language as manufactured drills. Great point, okay, slight improvement. The other part is, if I can pronounce this, Cassie Sincero. It's almost necklace. Again, It's a literal word. If you translate it, makes sense, but really in natural speak, you would not use that word. You will use somebody without a neck. Uh, but that's, again, you are doing better on words. We are doing better on a set of words or phrases. But the powerful thing is this piece. Spanish has the nouns take either the masculine or the feminine form, and they get transformed based on how they are used. Getting that right is extremely tough. So in this example, the first generation got the attribution of the pronoun, which is essentially, this is talking about the female in this, and they're attributing it as a he. Again, very complicated to disregard, because how do you know in a sentence like this, the pronoun refers to the he or she? But getting that right and getting that level of clarity is possible now with neural machine translation. So who is using it? Companies like Airbnb are using to power their their consumer feedback. Again, extremely global company with human-generated content generated on a real-time basis globally. 60% of their bookings are from people who don't speak the same language. Another big example is Alex. They are the makers of Clash of Kings, one of the biggest top 10 game title. They are using it to power chat within their gaming environment. Now, translation API is available also in China, except other Google services. So that's the brief description of what you could do or what the APIs are. Let's talk about what are cool things you can build. Again, these API are designed for an audience who doesn't understand a thing about machine learning. You don't need to. You can build some amazing, powerful things without understanding machine learning. At least if you know the concept, that's all you need. So in this demo, what I'm going to show you is we launched this feature in Twilio, which was Gather yesterday. Jeff launched it on stage at Keynote, which essentially allows you to convert speech to text. It's in partnership with Google Speech API. So what can you do now? Now you understand the text, what the person is saying, can you do some cool things? In this demo, what I'm going to show you is I provisioned the Twilio number, and then I make a call. And in this call, I talk, and based on what I'm talking, the demo understands the intent, and then accordingly routes the call to the right person. So it's a caller contact center situation. Excuse me. So not only that, it can also understand translation. So if I'm speaking in a different language, I only speak English and Hindi, so I'll speak in Hindi, and it will understand that and then do the translation and accordingly route it. And if I'm angry, especially anything with IVRs, tends to end up in somebody being angry, especially the customer. So if I'm angry, it understands that the customer is angry and accordingly routes the traffic. So let's go through the demo. Let's see if it works. I was modifying it 2 minutes before, which is never a good sign. Let's see if yeah, it's, so like, what I've done is simple. Twilio, by the way, I love their ease of use. So I was able to provision a phone number, and which I did here. All you need is, once you provision the number, where is that? Yeah. So you provision a number, and all it needs to know is if somebody calls at this number, what is the callback? What is the sort of callback method to call? And all you need to specify is in this link. So that's what I did. And in this case, I needed to spin out a web server which handles this call, big app, which handles this call, and I'm running it on App Engine. Again, Google has, and along with Twilio, has done an amazing job in providing you documentation. So if you are planning to build a simple integration of Twilio on an App Engine app, you just go to this web page, and it gives you complete details about how to build a app that will handle the calls. So again, I'm avoiding all those details, and once you do that, you're ready to go. Let's go and show the demo. If you can hear, let me put this on. So I'm just, wow, I'm loud. So I'm going to call the Twilio number that I provisioned, and if you can see here. I want to book a flight.
We're sorry, an application error has
So never make a modification to your code just before the call. So let me fix it. Not a big deal. And if I can fix it in time, I think I was making some modification. So can you guys see it? Okay, hold on. So let me, because it will take some time for compiling and uploading it on the, deploying it on the App Engine. So I'll continue speaking. So bear with me. And I think that was the only change I did. So let's. So what I changed my Python code and then uploaded the file on the. Hearing yourself is quite interesting always. And I'm deploying it on App Engine. And hopefully, in the next few minutes that I have, I will be able to show the demo to you. So in this case, all this code is doing is you need to import the new method that Twilio installed, launched, which is the gather method, which essentially helps you. It's a library that helps you change, transcribe speech to text. This is number one. And there's a Python library for language handling, which is the natural language API, and the translate, which helps you translate. And this is essentially, if you have done with Twilio, this is essentially getting your SID and your phone number that you got, and out you go. So each time a call is made to the phone number, this method is called. And again, as I said, you can specify the number in the Twilio control panel. And as I'm talking, I just want to make sure, yeah. So it's compiling and it's uploading. So let's keep it in the background. And so the next thing it does is, okay, so it makes a simple greeting. Hey, welcome to Twilio Air. So I was trying to copy Jeff as I think, did a demo of a flight ticket. And then how can you help you? So typical IVR situation is, hey, press 1 for booking, press 2 for flight status, press 3 for going away. But in this case, you don't have to do that. You have to say, hey, how can I help you? And have a very conversational sort of interaction with your customer. So once that happens, what this code is doing is very simple. Again, it creates a translate client. It gets the message, which shows up in speech results by calling the request method. And so once you understand that, the first thing it's doing here is trying to understand if the language of the speaker is not English, do translate this. You need to do the translation. So this is what it is doing. So if it is not in English, it will translate. Once you do that, now you can apply all the power of natural language. I should do that. Okay, I look like a joker wearing this thing. But I'll go along with it, and let's see if it takes time. So that's the next part. So once you understand, you translated the text, you got the block of text, whatever the sentence the caller has said, the next thing is now you're running your sentiment analysis. So you are saying, by calling this thing, this function is all it's doing is 3 lines of code. It's saying, hey, take this result coming from the gather function or the translate function and run a sentiment analysis on it. And the sentiment analysis gives you 2 things. It gives you a polarity, is it positive or negative, and how positive or negative, the magnitude. So a very strongly negative sentence will still have a negative polarity, but a very strong magnitude. So great. So you do that, and then based on that, if you say, you know what, if the sentiment is really negative, you don't want the person to be bombard it to a automated bot. You would rather transfer this person to an agent as soon as possible. So this is an intelligence. And again, why did I use 0.2? Depending on how sensitive you want to be and how much cost saving you want on your back end, you can change this parameter. So next thing you do is, of course, the next part is you walk through the structure of the sentence, and which is using the annotation method. Annotation method is breaking down the sentence into tokens, and then you walk through each token and say if there's a buy or if there is a so if there's a word called book, and you can be, this is very simplistic because if I use booking, it will not catch it. So you can get a little more sophisticated. There are some intent classifiers that you can build, but which I have not done here, which will understand the variation of booking, book, because it's called a word called stemming process. So using stemming, you can identify the core method, core verb, and accordingly route the call. So you do that. Same thing about somebody saying status. So you route it to the status agent or have a conversation about it. So that's how, that's it. So based on a very simple thing, what you have done is taken the speech, converted into text, translated if necessary, and then understood the sentiment, accordingly do the routing decision. So let's see if it's still, so as we wait, I have 5 more minutes. I hope in the 5 minutes I can get this app deployed on App Engine, and we will be up and running. Because we are waiting, why don't we open up for 1 or 2 questions, and then we'll go back to the demo. Will that work? Go ahead. Yeah, it will. So exactly. So it doesn't detect the language live. So what the Twilio gather function has done is it's waiting for you for a pause, take that sentence, converts into speech, take that speech audio file and converts into text, and it comes. You get the callback function, and then you do the translation. So it's not, and you are being intelligent. If the language is already English, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do the translation. Go ahead. That's a really good point. So again, this is a leap of faith here. So because I'm doing everything, translating everything into English and then doing the logic on English, in some cases, of course, depending on your keyword, the translation might not exactly happen in the same word. So there's a leap of faith here. But because in the awesome demo that I was going to show you guys, which never happened, I was going to speak in Hindi and show you guys that even though I didn't use the word, it still worked. Awesome. Let's see. I want to book a flight.
You said I want to book a flight. Transferring you to a booking agent.
So that was just showing you based on, by the voice is like on that thing is pretty low, so sorry about that. But can you guys hear, did you hear the? Yeah. So that was booking. Let's try.
Welcome to Twilio Air. How can I help you today?
I want to check the status of my flight.
Looks like you want to check your flight status. Please say your flight number and date of travel.
So again, it understood that I talked about status. I didn't have to press a stupid button to go to status. So let's try if I'm getting now adventurous. So let me.
Welcome to Twilio Air. How can I help you today?
I hate talking to bots.
Sorry that you are having difficulties transferring you to an agent.
So, as you can see, my confidence level. So let's try the Hindi version I was talking about.
Welcome to Twilio Air. How can I help you today?
मुझे अपनी फ्लाइट स्टेटस चेक करनी है.
Looks like you want to check your flight status.
So again, don't change your code 2 minutes into 2 minutes before, and don't get too adventurous. So I'll go back. Go ahead. Come again, sorry? So again, if you go back to the code here, so by the way, IVR and writing IVR tree is a mess. If you ever talk to somebody, and so this is like taking that, literally we, in 3 lines of code, we have taken probably 100 lines of what a typical IVR script look like. Because you are literally, you don't know what the person is saying, so you are looking at every possible way of saying the same sentence and trying to, this is what the difference between a rule-based and a machine learning-based solution is. So answer your question. So yes, it's not that sophisticated. For example, if I use in this the way, because I'm doing literally word match, but you can do simple intent classifier. So which is not out of the box that you get in the API, which is something that of course we are building, where you send in a sentence and we will tell you the intent of what the sentence was. And this is something coming pretty soon. So that combination will significantly improve the experience even more. Right now it's doing dumb match. Exactly, but I think as long it doesn't matter, because if you are talking to Xfinity, if Xfinity is itself not being used to do the routing decision, then it doesn't matter. All you are looking for is what's the intent. Again, I'm greatly simplifying it. What in reality happens is it's just not that I'm looking for a word by. I'm looking for who is this person? They might say, hey, I'm calling for a technical problem. And I might call, hey, my TV is not working. Both are essentially talking about is a technical problem. So what you do typically in reality is you take those different ways of saying the same thing, label it, and let the model train on it. And once the model trains on it, it will start understanding variations of it. So even if the model was trained on my TV is not working, it will still work if somebody says my box is not working. So that's the whole difference between machine learning and rule-based engine, rule-based pattern matching.
Wait, actually.
Okay.
We can have a round of applause. Apoorv will be here to answer questions, but we have to stick to our schedule. So, great.
Thank you.